Hello, this is Josh from the Comic Book Collecting Quest, and I'm going to do another comic book report here. This first one will be Absolute Batman. Came out this month. I have the B cover here, I think is what this is, because my subscription service, I had signed up for Absolute Batman, a subscription for it. I signed up 2 or 3 months ago, and my subscription service they kind of didn't give me one, so I went to my LCS and got one, thankfully. So, yeah, here we go. Pop it open. This was what cover A looked like. We get, Bruce at the zoo here. It's a flashback with him and his father, who's a teacher. And then this is Alfred Pennyworth. He works for MI6. And they tell him he just left. He left Manila. I think he was in the Philippines, watching someone, and they called him out of the Philippines and told him to go to Gotham because there's this gang that is killing people in Gotham, and he was told to engage the people whenever he sees this gang. Or no, I'm sorry. He was told to watch the gang, but then he was also told that there's a bat vigilante, and engage the bat vigilante. So kill the bat vigilante whenever he sees him. Then he comes out here, and he's got this cool motorcycle. He's got this cool motorcycle, and he comes out and sees that somebody had stole it. And then says, "I hate this bleeping town." And here we are to Bruce Wayne. He was huge. We talked about that in an earlier video, how this Absolute Batman, he's big. He's very big in here. So more, he's beating up on this punching bag and flashing back 2 more times at the zoo with his father. And he's talking to a buddy of his. So here, this is like a crime syndicate meeting. I don't want to say it's Black Mask. Maybe it's some other masked crime syndicate. This pretty cool picture here of our Absolute Batman. And here's Commissioner Gordon, and then his daughter Barbara here. He's at like a town hall meeting, and that's Harvey Bullock here. And this gang, here we go, the gang here. I can't remember exactly what they're called. What are they called? So, what does he say here? Let's see. Okay. In the past 3 months, a gang known as the Party Animals. Sorry, that took a little bit. So this is the Party Animals here is this gang, and they're just killing all these people and terrorizing the city. And then, it's so cinematic and cool. They kick down the door and go to kill the commissioner. He dodges, and there's Barbara, Barbara, get everyone out of here. Oh, sorry. I'm getting fired up because it's so cool. And then the door slams, You know, and then he's, my God, there's dozens of them out there, a whole army. We need to secure this. She opens up the door, and then, here he is. Whatever you hear, do not open this door. Yes! There he is. Oh, and look how cool that is. There he is, hanging upside down there like a bat. So cool. Hops down. Everybody's just shooting the heck out of him. His cape here, how he uses it, everybody was kind of speculating, like, oh, that looks so dumb, but he's using it here, and it's so cool. I'm pretty fired up, just even going over this again. Yes, he's got like knives in his head. When I was watching this, I was like, holy crap, he's just killing these guys left and right. But then it comes out that he's not killing these guys. He's just doing what Batman always does. He's inflicting damage on his opponents, but not killing them. And he isn't inflicting some big-time damage. So here's this guy. He's the big boy. He's the Goliath. So here comes, I'm just calling him Goliath, but here comes Goliath. He's huge. He's got like a meat cleaver. And Batman takes the emblem here. So we know that the emblem is more than just an emblem. It's also a weapon. It's like an axe. And, he's charging him, and then Batman just cuts his hand off. So cool. So cool. Fires me up. Out of my way. And then somebody sets off a bomb. I guess it's Alfred sets off a bomb. Yeah. And blows them all up. Okay, so Alfred blows them all up. And then he was told to engage the Batman. So here he comes. He's coming in for Batman. Batman kicks the crap out of him. Gives him the gun. Sorry, I'm trying to... I only read this once. I can't remember. So Bruce is like a architect? And here we are, some more flashbacks. And his dad is killed protecting the children at the zoo. So then we see that Bruce was... Oh, and this is Alfred Pennyworth kind of giving the... gosh, now I can't... Colonel Trotman. He's doing the Colonel Trotman building up of the character. He's straight. You straighten out. You go back to school and get a scholarship to the best university in the state. But when you get there, you're injured in the first week. A soft tissue tear. I've seen X-rays though, and I've been in command of men who faked injury to escape duty, and I suspect that's exactly what you did. So he went to college on a scholarship, a football scholarship, but faked an injury. And he studied mechanics, chemistry, criminal psychology, military theory, sociocultural history, everything to prepare. And then you come home, you set up in Gotham, and go to work in the power grid. Okay, so he's not an architect. He's... works for Gotham Water and Electric or something. So, then the water department. Next, sanitation. After that, you intern City Hall studying public policy, macro and micro. So, yeah, it's so good. And look at Gotham. How cool is Gotham? And then, so we see these 4 towers here. That's where the Batcave is all the way up there, and this is his mom. I don't know if she's called Mother here. Or Mother. Margaret, or Martha. Is it Martha? I don't know. Can't remember. So, yeah. So here he is up in the bed cave. And then here comes Alfred. And, yep, he shoots Alfred with a non-lethal shot. And then he's the one that stole Alfred's bike. Drives it off 1,000 feet up. Very end. So cool. And God, I want, this is at Target now. I would love to have these top two. Preferably that one, but anyway. So yeah, we're, there we are. Absolute Batman. Where's my rating system? And I'm rating it top notch. The absolute top notch. That's one of the best comics I've read all year. Period. I know everybody hates modern books. And it's got like the cussing and stuff in it, but it fires me up. It was like watching a Stallone movie or a Schwarzenegger 80s flick. Very fun comic. Now I'm on to some not very fun comics. Tom and Jerry. So what happened is I started reading this Tom and Jerry, and I just struggled. Honestly, I struggled for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks to read it. I was so bored with it. Look how cool this Milky Way advertisement is. I'm so bored with it, and look how great a condition it is. I'm not the only one that has been bored with it. I don't know if I don't even know if it's ever been read. So we have where are we at? Dell Comics, Tom and Jerry Comics, Volume 1, number 112 from November of 1953. So we've got a golden age here. This first one, Tom's got a leaky roof, and Jerry and his buddy, I can't remember what his buddy's name is. What is it? Dang it. Sorry, I was trying to see what buddy, Jerry's friend. Anyway, so yeah, they're like trying to fix the roof. Jerry kicks them out. Jerry tells them to go out and fix the roof. So they go out. No luck. The top floor floods. Yeah. I hate this. I'm just not a Tom and Jerry fan. I think that's what it was. It really wasn't that good. So some comedy here. Jerry and Tom, Jerry's buddy, are at it. Sorry, I'm giving a bad report on this. It just wasn't good. At the end, and then so it's like a rainstorm, and then the rain freezes. Everything turns to ice. They make an igloo to solve the problems. The next story was maybe worse. A lion escapes the zoo to go get a haircut, and Tom is the one that runs the barber shop, and he goes through and gives the lion all sorts of bad haircuts. And then it comes out that there's a reward for the escaped lion, and Tom makes a deal with the lion, like, hey, after the haircut, let me bring you back to the zoo, and I will collect the money. The lion says, okay. But then the lion fools him, does a switcheroo, and puts the lion mane on Tom, takes Tom to the circus, and Tom realizes, hey, he gets like free steak. The circus life is pretty good. And the lion has to go to work at the barber shop. The end. So I guess the moral of the story is prison is better than being a barber. I don't know. I've never been to prison, and I am not a barber. Next one was Barney Bear and Benny Burrow. And so this moose, I think his name's Mooseface, even. Yeah, so this moose is like super fat, and they're tired of him bumming food off of them, so they're trying to get him to lose weight, and he does these deeds that they're like convincing him to do, and he ends up, like this instance, gets rewarded with a cake. Then he tells him to climb up in the tree and save a kitten, and then he finds out that there's plenty of nuts up there to eat. Yuck. So they're just not that good. He enters a pie eating contest and then a fat man race, and finds out that the reward for the fat man race is a 10-pound box of candy. And the sack race too. Blah blah blah. They're just not that good. I hate to say it is what it is. It's a Tom and Jerry book from 1953. It was not made for a guy in his 40s in 2024, so I hate to be so hard on it, but I really was just like, it was a struggle for me. And I'll read just about anything. And I struggled. So this next story is this dog and this big Spike and little Tyke. They get a wishbone. Somebody throws a turkey out, and he tells them, hey, don't eat the turkey bones. Or they throw turkey bones out, and he says, don't eat the turkey bones. And then the cat jumps in there and wants the turkey bones, and like, don't eat it. And then he's like, I just wanted the wishbone so I can make a wish. And then they fool him and get the wishbone, and then they make a wish, and they make a wish for a whole cow, but they want beef is what they want. And so then here comes the butcher to their house, and they get bones, nice and juicy bones. But they say, no, we don't want the bones. We're waiting for our wish. We want a whole slab of cow. And their wish comes true. Here comes the cow, but they wanted a butchered cow, not a live cow. And at the end, the cat is the one that comes out on top because he wished for fresh milk every day, which is what the cow is providing. Yeah, and I obviously didn't read this story if I was so bored with the stories provided by the comic. Then I was definitely bored with that one. Or the stories with art in them. So this one is Wolf the prairie dog, and they're living next to an army base, and this coyote is trying to kill him. Of course, they outsmart him at every turn. And then this jet. They go, all sorts of things happening, trying to avoid the coyote. They get in a bomber. They almost get roasted by a jet. And in the end, the coyote gets his butt burned by the jet, and they figure out if they burrow in behind the rock, under the hill, they get free heat. Good for them. Tuffy, there we go. The Jerry's sidekick is Tuffy. So, yeah, this one's just a little bit, Tuffy wants to go fishing and throws a mud pie with a note on it at Jerry's window. And Jerry ends up hooking Tuffy to the pole and cleaning the window with Tuffy's diaper. Fuzzy and Wuzzy. So Uncle Barney here owns a beanery. Okay. Let's call it a cafe, not a beanery. So yeah, and he tells the kids, stay out. I'll give you a silver dollar if you stay out. And the kids keep giving future customers the silver dollar in exchange for a real dollar, and then, sorry. Long story short, it's boring. I don't know. They ended up conning their uncle and the customers enough that the uncle goes broke, and then they end up having all the money and buy the beanery and buy the beanery from the uncle and eat all kinds of food. I'm even bored talking about this stuff. So here's Flip and Dip. This hippopotamus is told. Oh wait, no, that's another. Well, this is a little bit. Oh, their dad keeps their dad keeps saying ouch, and they figure out why he keeps saying ouch. They get a doctor. He keeps saying ouch because he keeps hitting his finger. So then he throws out the hammer and hits the turtle's popcorn maker. Ugh, blah blah blah, boring. And then we got a little droopy bit here. So, in any sort of like classic sports, Wheaties has all the great sports advertisements. I love them. So this is actually the best thing about this whole book. What's this? I hate to do it, but I'm going to give this book a terrible. It wasn't made for me. It was made for a kid in 1953, not a 40-year-old man in 2024. However, it took me 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to read it. I was just I didn't want to read it. And eventually what happened is I think it was Monday. I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and force myself to read 5 comics so I can get it over with. I know that, really, I don't have to read these. But it's like I bought them. I'm going to read them. Here's another Tom and Jerry. This is Tom and Jerry Comics, Volume 1 from Dell, number 130 from May of 1955. So is that still a golden ager? I think this is still considered a golden ager. Okay. So this first one, Tom gets a job as mouse catcher at a toy store, and he hears that he can make a buck a mouse, so he fools Tom and Tuffy to come, so he can just catch them and turn them in at the end of the night, and he can just chill, but they're too smart for him, so they fool him. And there's, dancing mice, I guess. They're super realistic. And they figure out they can control the mice with a magnet, thus fooling Tom. I'll just hurry up through this, because there's not much to it. It's just gags and Tom being dumb and Tuffy and Jerry being superior. So Tom gets fired because he tried to turn in these dancing mice to the store owner. And Storner throws him out, but then for some reason starts throwing valuable items at Jerry. And yeah, long story short, the real mice went into the dancing mice box, and Jerry brought home a bunch of real mice. Yeah. Another big Spike and Tyke, and pardon my French, but the owner had purchased a pussy willow, and so little Tyke thinks that this tree is going to start growing cats, and the low down, no good, dirty neighbor dog runs with it and tries to pawn off his kittens onto them, but Spike is too smart and is not fooled. And then the dog puts sardines in the tree, and that causes the kittens to come over again. And finally, Big Spike puts catnip in the trees, in the neighbor's tree, and that attracts a bunch of cats. Flip and dip. This elephant's mom tells it to take a bath, and then for some reason he can't remember, so they tie his snout into a knot, and to get the knot out, they have to use soap and water. Sorry. And then his mom is happy because he remembered to take a bath. Barney Bear with Fuzzy and Wuzzy. Yeah, so this was just a big running joke, one of those, one thing after another happens, and at the end, Barney Bear was just trying to sleep in the hammock and ends up all of this stuff happening to him, and he crashes into his roof, and then he needs a plumber, a contractor, an electrician, and a veterinarian, a tree surgeon, and all he wanted to do was just chill in his hammock, and now he has a lot of bills. Another Wolf the Prairie Dog. So a zoo announces that it'll pay $100, I think, for a gray wolf, and they outsmart the coyote hears it, and he gets the gray wolf, but they convince him to go to the colorblind turtle, and then they convince him that is not a gray wolf, it's a brown wolf. So he's like, this is useless, and gives it to them, and then they take the gray wolf to the zoo, get the $100. He gets wise to it and chases them all around the desert here, and they end up having to throw the money up in the air. Blah, 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 yuck. So here's a little Jerry and Tuffy joke. Tuffy thinks that that is a mouse stool, but it is not. It is a golf tee, and Tuffy gets whacked. Another Troopy. So I've never liked Tom Jerry. I've never liked Tom and Jerry. I do like Troopy, but they don't really have any Troopy stories. Even when I was 3 and 4 years old, I didn't like Tom and Jerry. So this is a easy to print your name and address when you have your own personal pocket printer. I'll give this one another. I'll give it another terrible. It's not made for me. It is what it is. But I didn't like it. I did read it. Got it over with. Okay, and this dude is falling apart, so it has seen better days. This is Super Mouse Comics number 2. So this is from 1948, and it's made by Animated Cartoons Inc. And this is a rubber mask advertisement. I'm a big fan of, I like all music, but I like jazz. I really like just about all music from like all the way up until like 2000, because I turned 16 in 2000 and I kind of quit listening to new music in 2000. But from beginning of time to 2000, I like a lot of music. But Spotify did not have a good Duke Ellington selection, and I like Duke Ellington a lot. And I noticed last night that they have put a lot of really good Duke Ellington on there. So I've been listening to Duke Ellington kind of all day. And I only say that because 1948 reminds me of that era. Even though, Duke Ellington was playing in the Cotton Club in the 30s and recording in the 20s, and some of his best music was the early 40s. Really, probably around 48, he's no longer with Billy Strayhorn, so he's not really making that good of music. But he, continued to perform until his death in the 70s. Anyway, I just bring that up because these Golden Age books remind me of jazz. So, okay, so we had Super Mouse, and these kids make this professor mad. So somehow he halts winter, and he goes to Alaska. So Super Mouse takes his airplane, which is I think it's called Super Cheese, or no, he eats Super Cheese. That's how he gets his. So he gets his powers. He's kind of, it's kind of like Popeye spinach, and he takes on this polar bear. Finds out that the polar bear is working for somebody. Who are you working for? And the polar bear reveals to him that he's working for the professor that was PO'd from the kids messing with him, and that is why wherever they're at, they don't have winter, because the professor stole winter. So we kids promise we'll never throw snowballs at Professor Zix again, or Peter, or pester him if he'll just bring back winter. So the kids promise they will leave him alone, as I said, and he brings back winter. So this one here, oh, I love this. Some kid was practicing their alphabet. So this one is Super Mouse has disappeared, but then Super Mouse is like, I didn't disappear, I'm right here. And he's like, goes to call his plane. Okay, so it is called Super Cheese. The plane is called Super Cheese Special. So he goes to call his plane, and his plane doesn't show up. So he goes north, south, east, west to look for his plane. He searches the whole globe for his plane. Cannot find his plane, but then he... so then he sees that there's a gumdrop shortage in his hometown. And... follows the smell of the gumdrops to the gang's hideout. I want to say this. This is a last chance to buy a comic book before hitting the desert. So he follows it, sees that they've kidnapped his plane, and he thwarts the criminals and saves the day. This next one is Francois Feline. His owner's husband is needs to not work for a couple of months, but they don't have any insurance or disability insurance, so they don't know where they're going to get the money. So Francois Feline says he's going to go back to vaudeville, and finds out that nobody likes him in vaudeville, And then the bird finds out nobody likes to hear him sing. But the dog is a good mouser dog. So the dog gets a job mousing, and they make all kinds of money. Okay, and that's just a little bit. Adam. Another Super Mouse story. So this one he goes to an island that is ruled by kids, and adults have to answer to the kids. So he takes these kids there to show them that life ain't so grand, and life ain't so grand. He takes these kids to an island to show them how crappy life is and what they have to look forward to. He shows, because the kids complain that, like, kids never get to do anything that they wish they were adult, but then he takes them to the land of kids and shows them that, hey, it's not so great being an adult. And they overthrow the Kid King, and the Kid King gets spanked by the real king, and they say, hey, all right, Uncle Soupy, you grown-ups always know best. Of course, we grown-ups do make mistakes sometimes, but don't let Roscoe know I told you. Okay. And that was Topsy-Turvy Land where they went. So here's another Peter Puss. Looks like the coloring's all messed up on that page, huh? Peter Puss keeps getting beat up by the dog. I don't know if the coloring's messed up on that or what. Yeah, anyway. Moving right along here. Willie the Weasel, didn't read it. Sookie's Other Self. This was a weird story. So he has this, like, I don't know if it's an imaginary friend or a ghost that is like his twin or his alter ego or something. So everybody thinks that he's a bit crazy, and he's taken to bed, and he's like he's an orphan too. And then these people, this couple, say that they'll adopt him if to cure his ills. And he says, "Wait a minute, why don't you just adopt my imaginary friend?" And they say, "Oh, they do." And then the imaginary friend, because nobody believes that he has this imaginary friend. At the end, it says, "Okay, Pappy, I promise." It's a promise. Where do we go from here? And they're like, well, wait a minute. This imaginary friend was real. Yeah. Super Mouse from 1948. When I said I'll read anything, I will. It wasn't that bad. It was, I'll give it an okay. I would give it a bad, but it's from 1948, and it made me think of Duke Ellington, so I give it an okay. That is one of those, I'm just being kind to it because it's old. I'll put it up later because it's really in shambles. Okay, and lastly, we have U.S. Air Force Comics by Charlton, featuring the story One for the Duke. Oh, a John Wayne story. No. And then there's these. You can win your own car, a Plymouth Fury Jr. or a Thunderbird Jr. Courtesy of the Nomo's Turkish Taffy. All right, here we go. We got U.S. Air Force Comics, Volume 1, Number 12, from October of 1960. So this first story is One for the Duke. This kid, his parents die, and he has this buddy, this is World War II, sorry. He's a French kid whose parents die, and this buddy of his named Duke promises to adopt him and take him back to America with him. But sadly, he watches Duke blow up in the air before his eyes. And then, so, excuse me, this, oh, Sam, why did he have to die? So this guy, Sam, says, hey, don't worry, oh, let me move it up here. Sorry. So he's like, yeah, I'll take you back. I'll take you back to the States. No worries. And so what's really weird is I think this, what does it say that this takes place in like 19... Okay, so in World War II, so what was that, 1945? Because it says the last days of World War II. And then he says it was 1949 when Paul Dugan completed, and Paul Dugan is the kid that, has been brought over, when Paul Dugan completed training and was commissioned in the U.S. Air Force. So it's like, how old was he? Did they adopt a 17-year-old kid? Don't worry, we'll take you back to the States. How old are you? 18. So yeah, and then he tells him that, his adopted father tells him to join the Sabre Jets. He says, yes, Dad. I don't know why he calls him Dad, because I think he was like 17 when he met him. Whatever. And win a beautiful signet ring. It's fun. It's easy. All you do is name these famous U.S. presidents. Uh-oh. George W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and Donald Trump. Sorry. Just wanted to make you guys angry, that's all. All right. Then it was June 27, 1950. President Truman had ordered naval and air forces to the defense of South Korea, and Lieutenant Paul Dugan's squadron was one of the first to receive orders. So here he is. He's flying out on his first mission to Korea in a jet. And there he is. He's scared to death. And he's confronted and shot. Not shot down, just shot by a MiG. He does do a barrel roll. Or, Star Fox 64. Does a barrel roll or something. And gets behind the MiG and then shoots the MiG down. He lands. And there's his adopted father, who he calls Daddy. He tells him, hey, Dad, I'm not cut out for this. I'm a coward. And then all the other guys said, no, you did great. You're a hero, because we were up there and we were scared to death. And you were up there staring danger in the eye. The end. What do we got? Charlton Comics Giant Jungle Contest. Oh, sorry, Giant Jingle Contest. Jingle. Finish the last line of the Charlton Jingle. There's a Charlton Jingle? Where's this Charlton Jingle? Dang. Okay. Okay, here's the jingle. Charlton Comics give you more. Buy them at your favorite store. Code approved and full of fun. Okay, all right, here we go. So finish the last line of the Charlton Jingle. Charlton Comics gives you more. Buy them at your favorite store. Code approved and full of fun. You'll even trade in your dad's gun. There we are. Yes, I won. What do you win? Hundreds of prizes. Okay. Oh, and this is the fabulous grand prizes. The famous Thunderbird Jr. and the famous Plymouth Fury Jr. Oh, wow. Oh, I want the big boy bling. What is that? Play a real musical instrument, just 60 seconds. Electric cord organs. God, no thanks. Somebody one time was like, "Hey, you want this free organ?" I was like, "Yes." And it was like 800 pounds, and I got it home and realized I did not want that giant. I did not want that organ. I actually ended up just burning it and giving the scrap metal to an Amish friend. When a bozo the clown punch a loon. All right, here we go. Next story. Psycho Island. And then this one takes place during World War II. You're on fire, Major. Bail out. Get down low, Major. I'll get that canopy off for you. That's enough, Al. The slugs are coming through the cockpit. And then Major bails out. And what happened to Al? Don't leave me, Al. I hate your insides, but don't leave. There are sharks. Oh, and this is a great story because it's like not only is he getting shot down, he dives right in the sea, and it's a shark story. And then, no fear, the Navy is here. Look at that. Yes! Kill those sharks. And so, yeah, they save him. Oh, and I love this, too, because he's in bad shape. And where does he say? Where does it say that? See, physically he's better. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is great. So, like, yeah, physically he's better than we are. Mentally, he's in terrible condition. He needs a long, long rest in the States. Like, that'll be good news, Major. Baldwin has a wife and 3 kids back there. Oh, that's going to be great for his mental health. You're feeling better, Mike? Good. You know, I think you need... Stop it! Don't say it! Don't send me back to my wife and 3 kids! I can't take anymore. I hate this crummy place, but someone has to fight it. Okay, he doesn't say that, but he's like, you want me to go back to psycho... Or you want to psycho me back to the States? Yeah, man. Don't go back to your wife and 3 kids if you're fixing to have a mental breakdown. That's going to make it worse. So, he hops right back into the plane and goes back to Psycho Island. Yeah, so the Japs are fixing to... they have a bomber squadron fixing to come. He hops in the plane, takes off, shoots down the bombers, and he lands, and then they tell him, you're going to take about 60 days leave and go visit that family of yours. When you come back, you can fly all you please. Don't argue. It's an order. What is this? Major Baldwin saw the bomber pilot was trying to crash in the hospital area. A lot of men in it would have died. So the Major exploded his bombs up where no one would be hurt. And then there's a shark chaser story. I don't read these. I know everybody reads them, but I don't. I'm like, no. Where's the art? And this one ends Stranger in the Tell. Oh, okay, so this is a tail gunner story, and this one was kind of confusing. It was really good, but it was kind of confusing because this guy, the tail gunner, is like giving the orders, and they're, you're just a lowly tail gunner, I'm a sergeant or whatever. Where does he tell him? Sorry. Anyway, so he's like barking out orders, and they're kind of like, hey, shut up back there. We're in charge. But then he keeps barking out orders, and come to find out, the tail gunner was the pilot's father. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. I skipped over all that. So they go on a bombing run. Where are they bombing? Does it? I can't remember if it says where they go to bomb. This time it was a German fighter base. It had to be raised for 1,000 plane force of B-17s coming over Germany in 2 hours. So they got to go take, and they're in Marauders, so they got to go take out this German Air Force base, and they do. And yeah. The private a good friend of yours, Captain? The best, Doc. He's my father. Was the hottest pilot in the Air Corps till he was given a medical discharge. He used a different name and fooled the medics when he enlisted. He's still the best, on the ground or in the air. The best there is. So the tail gunner, that was barking out orders, and they're like, "Hey, respect the officers." Come to find out, he was the captain's dad. So, and then there's our guy, Charles Atlas. Yeah. So this one, I really, 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 really liked this one. Just because of how nuts I was about Absolute Batman's top notch. I'll give this one a good because I don't want to put it on the same level as Absolute Batman. But this was a really, really, really good read. I want more of these. Loved it. Loved all those stories. I was kind of making fun of them as I was reading them, but they were actually really, really, really good stories. Super entertaining, especially after you just read 2 terrible Tom and Jerry's and a bad Super Mouse. Or did I say it was okay? All right, I'm changing the grade to bad on Super Mouse. So, all right, everyone. I'm going to put up another video soon too because I didn't do any videos last week because I didn't read because I was so bored with those Tom and Jerry's. But I'll put up another video tomorrow, and so keep on collecting.